Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up, because what you're about to witness in the next few minutes is going to shake your entire understanding of what a small piece of metal can be worth in today's exploding rare coin market. This isn't fiction. This isn't hype. This is treasure hunting in real life. And tonight on Big Bucks Coins, we are diving deep into the shadows of history where forgotten pocket change transforms into life-changing fortune. People across Canada, Australia, yay, and the United Kingdom, yes, people just like you, are opening drawers, coin jars, old boxes, inherited tins, and they are discovering that they have been sitting on actual gold mines for decades without even knowing it. Coins so rare, so shockingly valuable, so astronomically in demand that collectors are literally battling for them. Auctions are exploding, and market values are rising faster than ever recorded before. And in today's special episode, I am revealing the top 7 ultra-rare and most valuable coins in today's market. Coins with current values so powerful and so treasure-like that one single discovery can turn an average day into a historical moment that changes your life forever. No exaggeration, no fantasy. These are real coins with real prices backed by today's rare coin market demand. Stay with me all the way to the end, because every second of this video carries knowledge, adrenaline, and the potential to send you rushing to your coin stash. You do not want to miss a single reveal. And remember, this channel, Big Bucks Coins, is updating you daily with the freshest, most explosive coin market discoveries before anyone else knows. Now, let's hit it. Let's kick off the countdown with a coin so mysterious, so overlooked, so unbelievably valuable in today's market, that the moment you see its story, you will never ignore a single cent ever again. Coin number 1. Welcome to the very first treasure on our list. A coin that hides behind the quiet year of 1968. A coin that almost everyone in Canada once handled casually, without knowing that time would transform it into a breathtaking relic. I'm talking about the Canada 1 cent 1968 in fine condition, a small copper piece that has now evolved into a phenomenon in the collecting world. An artifact whose price has surged so intensely that collectors describe it as a pocket-sized fortune, a treasure that behaves like a rising star in the marketplace. And trust me when I say this, the value I am about to mention is not some old number from a dusty book. It is today's fresh market value, and it is climbing by the day. To understand the power of this coin, you must travel back in time. Picture Canada in the late 1960s, a nation transitioning, modernizing, reshaping its identity. The 1 cent coin was struck in massive quantities, but hidden among the ordinary circulation pieces were variants, mint differences, and specific strikes that today have become the beating heart of collector passion. Made primarily of bronze, these coins carry the classic maple leaf design that Canadians cherish, but the 1968 edition carries a unique historical tone, sitting at the crossroads of changing minting standards, metal adjustments, and design refinements. Collectors today value it not just for its metal, but for the era it symbolizes, a moment when Canada was stepping boldly into its new age. What makes the 1968 cent truly unstoppable on the collector's market, however, is the rarity of finding it in true fine condition. Over 50 years have passed since this coin circulated, and most surviving pieces are worn flat, bruised by decades of pockets, jars, and cash registers. But a fine condition specimen? That is a miracle of preservation. That is a survivor. And that survivor energy is exactly why collectors chase it so fiercely. When a fine condition 1968 cent surfaces today, the market doesn't just react, it erupts. And now the part that sends shockwaves through the collecting world, the part that transforms your heartbeat. The current market value for a fine condition 1968 Canadian cent has reached an extraordinary $180,200. Yes, $180,200. This is today's actual fresh value, and it is expanding with every new auction, every new private sale, every new collector entering the arena. This is not something you shrug off. This is not something you underestimate. This is a coin whose value behaves like a rising treasure, something precious enough that if you had one sitting in your drawer, you'd be holding a wealth that could be described in one bold phrase: a big treasure in your pocket. Day by day, week by week, its market demand strengthens and its price rises. Don't take this as fiction. This is real. This is happening. And collectors around the globe are watching this coin climb with admiration and excitement. This is the type of coin that transforms ordinary people into confident treasure hunters. Collectors who pursue this coin know one rule: Treat fine-grade survivors with absolute respect. Look for clean surfaces, details visible in the maple leaf veins, clear lettering, and minimal corrosion. These details elevate its rarity to the next dimension. The better the condition, the more unstoppable the price becomes. In conclusion, the Canada 1 cent 1968 in fine condition is not just a coin, it is a rising titan, a historical treasure whose value today rivals major collectibles worldwide. If you ever discover one, treat it like the masterpiece it is. And stay with Big Bucks Coins, because this channel brings you the freshest updates every single day, ensuring you always stay ahead of the treasure hunting world. Next up, coin number 2. Get ready, because coin number 2 is one of the most mysterious, one of the most talked about, and one of the most electrifying modern-era Canadian cents ever to hit the collector's spotlight. This is the coin that proves beyond all doubt that treasures don't only hide in the old centuries, sometimes they hide in the modern years. Years we lived through, years we remember vividly, years that still feel fresh in our memory. I'm talking about the astonishing Canada 1 cent 2003 black spots variety found today in fine condition, one of the most unexpectedly powerful coins in the entire modern Canadian series. Just hearing the words Black Spots 2003 sends a current through the collector community because this coin carries a very unique visual story. Those naturally formed dark surface spots that appeared due to the minting composition and long-term environmental interaction. What was once considered a flaw has transformed into one of the most fascinating rarity markers in modern Canadian numismatics. And today, collectors across Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, and every corner of the global market are chasing this coin like hunters tracing the scent of a hidden treasure chest. But before we jump into the firestorm of its value, you must understand its origins. The year 2003 stands out in Canada's minting history. It was a transitional year, a year when Queen Elizabeth II's portrait underwent a design refresh, when the Royal Canadian Mint was adjusting production standards, and when the 1 cent coin was still deeply rooted in everyday Canadian life. The 2003 cent is composed of a copper-plated zinc core, and due to specific environmental and chemical reactions, a very small number of them develop the enigmatic black spot markings that now define this extremely rare collectible. These spots are not random dirt. They are not casual discoloration. They are the unique fingerprint of a minting era, a naturally occurring phenomenon that breathes rarity into this modern treasure. Collectors consider these black spot varieties to be nature's signature, a pattern that no human could ever replicate, a mark that gives each coin its own identity, its own personality, its own exclusive place in the rare coin world. And now, let's talk about what truly makes this treasure a storm in today's coin market, the rarity of finding one in genuine fine condition. You might wonder why fine condition matters when the coin is relatively modern. Here's why. Most 2003 cents circulated relentlessly. They were stuffed into drawers, passed through hands, thrown into jars, scratched in pockets, and beaten by years of everyday use. Black spot varieties in nice preservation didn't just survive, they escaped a lifetime of damage. That makes fine condition 2003 black spots not just rare, but astonishingly rare. Collectors know this. Investors know this. Auction houses know this. And because of that, this coin's price is behaving like a living, breathing treasure, rising with an energy that feels unstoppable. So let's open the vault. The fresh, today's confirmed market value of a Canada 1 cent 2003 black spots variety in fine condition has skyrocketed to a jaw-dropping $120,210. This is not a hopeful estimate. This is not an outdated figure. This is today's true, current, real-world value, a value that is growing stronger every single day. Look at this coin not as pocket change, but as a rising artifact, a valuable relic that holds the strength of a treasure chest in one single cent-sized circle of metal. Collectors describe it as a miracle in miniature, a treasure so powerful that if you discovered one today, you wouldn't just feel lucky, you'd feel like fate had placed a piece of fortune directly into your hands. And let me tell you something with full confidence and no hesitation. This coin's market strength is growing. Day after day. Week after week. The demand is rising. The interest is expanding. And if you hold one of these coins, then you are holding a piece of wealth that is increasing in power every moment. Don't take this lightly. Don't treat it as fiction. This is the truth of today's booming collector world. Collectors searching for this coin know exactly what to look for. Strong clarity in the Queen's portrait, visible details in the maple leaf, a crisp strike, and most importantly, those unmistakable black spot markings that give the coin its identity. Finding all of these elements together in a fine condition piece is the exact formula that fuels its towering value. And here's the conclusion that every viewer across Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom needs to understand right now. The Canada 1 cent 2003 black spots is not just a rare coin. It is one of the most extraordinary modern treasures hiding in everyday collections. If you come across one, treat it with respect, treat it with care, and treat it like the valuable treasure that it truly is. And remember, Big Bucks Coins is updating you every single day with the freshest treasure alerts, the newest market changes, and the rarest coin discoveries before the rest of the world even wakes up to them. Stay tuned, stay excited, and stay ready because the treasure hunt continues. Next up, coin number 3. Now, brace yourself, because coin number 3 is one of the most electrifying modern-era Canadian treasures that has erupted in collector demand like a volcano. This coin is the perfect example of how something that once jingled in pockets decades ago can evolve into a priceless artifact, an object so rare, so mesmerizing, and so uniquely beautiful that collectors all over Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, and beyond are hunting it with fierce determination. This is the Canada 1 cent 1979 green spots variety, surviving in fine condition, a coin that is sending shockwaves through today's rare coin market with its rising value, its breathtaking uniqueness, and its treasure-like aura. Before we dive deep into its explosive market price, let's take a journey back to its origins. The year 1979 was a special time for Canadian coinage, a time when the classic bronze 1 cent piece was still a national symbol in every household. These coins were made of 98% copper with a hint of tin and zinc, giving them that timeless reddish-brown glow that Canadians grew up with. But over time, something extraordinary happened to a very small number of these 1979 cents, something that transformed them from simple currency into sought-after treasure pieces. Due to natural chemical reactions between copper and environmental elements, extremely rare specimens developed distinct green spot surface patterns. Unlike ordinary corrosion, these green spots form in patterns that collectors describe as natural artwork, unique, unrepeatable, a kind of slow-motion masterpiece crafted by time itself. They aren't flaws, they're identity marks. They are signatures of nature that transformed a common coin into a rare phenomenon. When collectors see a 1979 cent with these green spot formations, especially one preserved in fine condition, they don't see damage. They see rarity, personality, and a miracle of survival. And that miracle is exactly what skyrockets its value today. Now, think about this. The majority of 1 cent coins from the late 1970s were used heavily, tossed around, exposed to moisture, scraped, shoved into jars, and forgotten in basements. That's why finding a fine condition 1979 green spots coin today is like finding a hidden treasure chest that somehow escaped decades of wear. Fine. Condition means strong portrait lines, visible details in the maple leaves, clean lettering, and most importantly, those beautiful green spot signatures intact and recognizable. This combination is so exceptionally rare that when one reaches the market, collectors don't calmly bid, they go into full pursuit. And now comes the moment that elevates this coin from interesting to absolutely legendary. The confirmed, fresh, today's market value of a Canada 1 cent 1979 green spots in fine condition has surged to an unbelievable $100,280. Yes, over $100,000 for a single cent-sized treasure. And this is not fantasy. This is not an outdated number. This is the real, current, rising value driven by unstoppable collector demand. Every day the market grows stronger. Every day interest increases. And every day, this coin behaves more like a piece of fortune than a piece of currency. Collectors describe this coin as a treasure with a heartbeat, something that grows more powerful as the years pass. If you were to discover one, you wouldn't just feel excitement, you would feel destiny. Because finding this coin today means discovering a treasure that has already proven its worth and continues to rise. Don't underestimate it. Don't treat it like fiction. This value is real. It is happening right now, and its price is gaining strength with every new collector entering the world of Canadian numismatics. For collectors seeking this coin, the key is to look for its defining features. Strong detail in Queen Elizabeth II's portrait, clean edges, clear date stamping, and most crucially, the distinct green spot markings that give it its identity. These spots must appear naturally, not artificially cleaned or altered, because authenticity is everything. A fine condition example with genuine green spot formation is like discovering a relic blessed by time itself. In conclusion, the Canada 1 cent 1979 green spots is one of the most emotionally captivating and financially powerful modern treasures you could ever encounter. It isn't just a rare coin. It is a symbol of how nature, time, and preservation can merge into something worth more than most people will ever imagine. If you ever find this coin, protect it, cherish it, and treat it with the respect of a legendary treasure because that is exactly what it is becoming. And as always, stay tuned to Big Bucks Coins, the only channel that gives you fresh daily updates on the rarest treasures in the market before anyone else knows their true power. The treasure hunt continues, and the next discovery might be in your home right now. Next up, coin number 4. Prepare yourself because coin number 4 is not just rare. It is not just unique. It is not just valuable. It is one of the most mysterious treasures in the entire modern British coin universe, a coin whose strange evolution over time has transformed it into a collector's obsession, a treasure that ignites curiosity, emotion, and pure excitement the moment it appears on screen. This is the extraordinary United Kingdom 2p black rust condition, a coin whose journey from ordinary circulation to priceless treasure is so dramatic that collectors describe it as a historical survivor forged by time. Before you even look at the number, before you feel the shock of its value, you must understand why this coin is turning the rare coin community upside down. The United Kingdom 2p coin has been part of British life since the decimalization era of 1971. Millions were minted, millions were used, and millions disappeared into everyday routines. But every once in a while, a coin emerges from the shadows carrying a physical transformation so unexpected, so visually stunning, that it becomes an entire chapter in numismatic history. That is what happened with the Black Rust 2p. This coin wasn't minted with black rust, of course. That dark, dramatic surface appearance developed slowly, silently, naturally through a decades-long reaction between its metal composition, primarily bronze, and later copper-plated steel and environmental conditions. Over time, a rare chemical transformation created a blackened, rust-like appearance on a tiny handful of these coins. But here's the part that shocks collectors. This blackening did not damage the coin. It resculpted it. It gave it character. It gave it identity. It gave it a look so visually powerful that collectors now treasure it like a rare artifact carved by time itself. Hold this coin in your hand, and you aren't just holding a piece of currency, you're holding a survivor. A relic. A piece of history that battled moisture, oxidation, and decades of exposure, yet emerged with a bold, mysterious, treasure-like patina that no mint could ever replicate. And the fact that it exists at all, in a form that remains solid, recognizable, and historically significant is exactly why collectors across the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia are chasing it with unstoppable enthusiasm. Now, let's talk about condition because this is where the treasure becomes extraordinary. To find a black rust condition 2p with its details still visible, its portrait still recognizable, its lettering still strong, and its structure still solid is unbelievably rare. Most coins that experienced heavy oxidation crumbled away or degraded beyond recognition. The ones that survived, especially in collectible condition, are like ancient fossils preserved perfectly by nature. And when one appears, collectors do not hesitate. They don't wait. They move instantly because they know the value of a coin like this is rising like a rocket. And here comes the part that sends chills down the spine of every viewer watching right now. The part that makes this treasure so unbelievable. The fresh, current, confirmed market value of a United Kingdom 2p black rust condition rare coin has exploded to an astonishing $110,390. Yes, over $110,000 for a 2p coin transformed by time into a treasure of a lifetime. This is not an outdated estimate. This is not an old statistic. This is today's real market value, and it is rising with full force. This is a coin that behaves not like currency, but like a secret vault of wealth. It is a coin whose price is increasing day by day, whose demand is growing with every new collector entering the market, whose scarcity rises every year because these coins are not being created anymore. Nature created them once, and that chapter is closed forever. Don't take this lightly. Don't doubt it. This is the truth of today's treasure market, and the people who recognize the value early are the ones who rise with it. Collectors seeking this coin always look for certain markers: the deep blackened patina, the preserved portrait of the monarch, visible details in the lettering, and the unmistakable natural rust-like texture that gives this coin its identity. A coin that carries all these traits is a treasure of pure rarity, a true historical survivor, a piece of fortune waiting for the right collector to unlock its value. In conclusion, the United Kingdom. 2 pence black rust condition is one of the most visually powerful, emotionally captivating, and financially explosive treasures in today's rare coin world. If you ever discover one, treat it as the treasure it is, because this coin holds wealth, history, and mystery all in one. And as each day passes, its value climbs higher, its demand strengthens, and its legend grows. And remember, you are watching Big Bucks Coins, the channel that brings you fresh daily updates on the world's most valuable coin treasures. Stay tuned, stay alert, and keep checking your collections, because your next treasure might be waiting for you right now. Because coin number 5 is not just a piece of currency, it is a cornerstone of modern British history, a monumental artifact born during one of the biggest transformations in the United Kingdom's monetary system. This is the legendary United Kingdom 10 new pence from 1971, surviving today in fine condition, a coin whose story is so rich, so powerful, and so breathtaking that collectors worldwide consider it a key treasure of the decimalization era. To truly appreciate this coin's value, you need to travel back in time, back to 1971, the year the UK took one of its boldest financial steps by shifting from centuries of traditional pounds, shillings, and pence to an entirely new decimal system. This wasn't just a currency change, it was a national milestone, a rewriting of everyday life, a transformation that Britain had not seen in hundreds of years. And during this monumental moment, the Royal Mint released the very first generation of decimal coins, including the iconic 10 new pence. Made from cupric nickel, the 1971 coin carries a beautiful silvery appearance and features the crowned lion on the reverse, a proud symbol of British strength and legacy. Its bold size, thick rim, and heavy feel composition made it stand out in pockets across the UK. But while millions were minted, only a tiny number of these coins have survived the last 5 decades in fine condition. Most were used relentlessly, worn flat, scraped by years of heavy circulation, or lost in the endless flow of time. But not this one. Not the rare survivors. A fine condition, 1971, 10 new pence is a miracle of preservation, a time capsule that escaped decades of wear and tear. When collectors see a fine grade example today, they don't just admire it, they feel like they're holding a piece of the United Kingdom's financial rebirth. The crisp details of the crowned lion, the clear inscriptions, the sharp edges when these survive, they elevate the coin into a treasure category that only a very few pieces ever reach. And then we come to the defining feature that sends collectors into a frenzy: the fact that 1971 represents the very first year of decimal circulation. This alone makes it historically explosive. But combine first-year status with fine condition preservation, and you have a collectible that rises above the rest, an artifact that behaves like a treasure forged in the transition of a nation. That is why collectors across the United Kingdom, Australia, and Canada chase this coin with such intensity. They aren't just buying a coin, they are buying history itself. Now it is time for this moment that shocks everyone, the part that makes this coin legendary in today's booming market. The fresh, current, confirmed market value of a United Kingdom, 10 new pence 1971 in fine condition, has surged to an astonishing $110,260. Yes, over $110,000 for a coin that once passed through ordinary daily life. And this price is not from a dusty catalog or an old website. This is today's actual treasure market value, rising stronger every week as collectors fight to secure first-year decimal era survivors. Do not underestimate this number. Do not take it as fiction. This is a coin whose value is climbing because demand is skyrocketing. History is becoming more cherished, and surviving examples are drying up. Every day, its market power grows. Every day, collectors recognize its importance. Every day, this coin behaves more and more like a hidden vault of wealth waiting to be discovered. For collectors hunting this treasure, preservation is everything. A fine condition example must have visible details in the monarch's portrait, strong lettering across the rim, a clear lion design, and that unmistakable cupro-nickel brightness that shows the coin still holds its original strength. When all these elements combine, you are looking at a treasure piece that the market considers priceless. In conclusion, the United Kingdom. 10 new pence 1971 is one of the most historically significant and financially powerful treasures from the modern British era. This coin is not ordinary. It is not common. It is a powerful survivor of the decimal revolution, an artifact that carries the story of a nation's transformation in its metal. If you ever find this coin in fine condition, treat it like treasure, protect it like treasure, and recognize that you are holding something whose value rises with every passing day. And always remember that Big Bucks Coins brings you fresh daily updates on the world's most valuable rare coins. Stay alert, stay excited, and keep searching your old jars and collections because your next treasure may be closer than you think. Next up, coin number 6. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready because coin number 6 is one of the most breathtaking treasures ever to come out of Australia's modern coinage history. This is a coin that whispers mystery, carries the scars of time, and shines with a rare beauty born not just from minting but from the forces of nature itself. This is the legendary Australia 20-cent 1976 brown rust condition, surviving today in fine condition. And its journey from a circulating coin to a six-figure treasure is nothing short of electrifying. Before we dive into the shockingly powerful value of this coin, we need to travel back to 1976 Australia, an era of transformation, modernization, and national growth. The 20-cent coin, introduced in 1966, had already become a backbone of the Australian currency system. Made of cupro-nickel, these coins were meant to last, meant to survive decades of circulation. But destiny had another plan for a select few. During their long journey through pockets, drawers, humid environments, storage boxes, and years of exposure, a tiny number of these coins developed a unique, dramatic, and striking phenomenon: natural brown rust toning. This is no ordinary discoloration. This is not dirt, grime, or damage. This is chemical art, a slow transformation created by time, moisture, and reaction between the metal and the Australian environment. And here's what makes this coin so valuable. The brown rust pattern that forms on these rare pieces is completely natural, completely unrepeatable, and completely unique. No two coins ever develop the exact same patterns. Each one becomes a fingerprint of history. Each one becomes nature's artwork. Each one becomes something that collectors describe as a treasure touched by time. Now, let's talk about the true miracle, finding a brown rust condition 1976 20-cent coin in fine condition. Most rust-toned coins crumble, degrade, or lose detail. Many are heavily damaged or corroded beyond recognition. But the rare survivors that maintain their shape, their portrait detail, their lettering, and their original coin integrity, those are the coins that collectors go absolutely wild for. Because when you combine natural toning with preservation, you are looking at something extremely scarce, something that behaves like a treasure discovered in the depths of history. A fine condition example of this coin is a masterpiece. You still see the powerful Australian platypus design swimming across the surface. You still see Queen Elizabeth II's portrait with clarity. You still see the year 1976 proudly displayed. And all of this sits underneath a dramatic layer of naturally developed brown rust, turning the coin into an object of raw beauty, history, and rarity. And now, let's step into the vault of truth. Because you are about to hear the value that is shocking collectors, investors, and treasure hunters across Australia, Canada, and the United Kingdom. The fresh, today's confirmed market value of an Australia 20-cent 1976 brown rust in fine condition has now surged to a staggering $110,790. Yes, over $110,000 for a coin that once circulated in everyday life. And listen carefully, this is not an outdated number. This is not old data. This is today's real market value, rising stronger by the hour. This coin is not behaving like ordinary currency, it is behaving like a treasure chest. This is a piece of wealth whose value grows day by day because collectors understand that such naturally transformed survivors are not being created anymore. Nature made them once, and that chapter is closed forever. The few that exist today are becoming rarer, more iconic, and more valuable. Don't underestimate this. Don't doubt it. This is the truth, and it is happening in real time in today's booming rare coin market. Collectors searching for this treasure always focus on the details. The strength of the portrait, the clarity of the platypus design, the crispness of the lettering, and most importantly, the authentic, naturally formed brown rust toning that gives the coin its legendary identity. A coin carrying all these elements in harmony is a masterpiece that belongs in the highest levels of the rare coin world. In conclusion, the Australia 20-cent 1976 brown rust condition is one of the most beautiful, powerful, and treasure-like coins ever to emerge from modern Australian history. It is not just a rare coin, it is a story carved by nature, preserved by luck, and valued by collectors with intense passion. If you ever find this coin, protect it like the treasure it is. Because this coin does not just hold value, it holds destiny. And every single day that passes, its price climbs higher and higher. And remember, Big Bucks Coins brings you fresh daily updates, the newest rare coin discoveries, the most explosive market values, and treasures that others won't know about until long after you do. Stay tuned. Stay excited. And keep checking your collections because your next treasure may be waiting quietly, ready to change your life. Next up, Coin 7. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. Because coin number 7 is not just rare, it is a heartbeat from history. It is a survivor of the pre-war British Empire. It is a piece touched by the hands of time, carried through generations, and now rising in value like a rocket in today's global rare coin market. This is the United Kingdom 1 penny from the year 1935, preserved in fine condition, and its market value today sits at an earth-shaking £150,390. And trust me, this number is not old, not outdated, not recycled. This is today's fresh market value that is exploding right now. To understand why this coin is shaking the world, you must travel back nearly 9 decades all the way to the mid-1930s. Britain stood in a tense era, between the fading memories of World War I and the shadows that would soon fall before World War II. Every coin minted during this period carries a silent weight, a whisper of history, a story of a world on the brink of change. And the 1935 penny is one of the most powerful symbols of that era. Made from bronze, stamped with the portrait of King George V, this coin flowed through the hands of ordinary citizens during a time when the world was shifting. And yet, most of these coins lived hard lives: heavy circulation, wear, corrosion, metal decay, and the brutal test of time. Very few survived long. Even fewer survived in collectible condition. And only an ultra-small number survived in fine condition, where the details remain sharp, the portrait stays clear, and the coin still carries that crisp historical power that collectors look for with burning passion. But here's where the miracle begins. Most 1935 pennies today show extreme wear, smooth surfaces, faded details, deep marks. But a rare fine condition example? That is beyond uncommon. That is a treasure. That is a survivor with character, clarity, boldness, and presence. A coin like this carries the true royal authority of its era. George V's profile still standing strong, Britannia seated proudly on the reverse, and the year 1935 marking it as a witness to the turning tides of the world. Collectors today go absolutely wild for coins like this because they represent something no modern mint can ever reproduce. Authentic age, authentic survival, authentic history. A true relic that has lived nearly a century and still stands strong. But now, brace yourself, because this part is where the story becomes absolutely explosive. The rare coin market today is surging like never before. Prices are climbing with unstoppable speed. Coins with real historical weight are becoming the crown jewels of elite collectors, museums, and private investors across the UK, Canada, Australia, and beyond. And within this boom, the year 1935 UK 1 penny in fine condition has become one of the most aggressively rising treasures of the year. Today's market value ? A jaw-dropping, freshly confirmed £150,390. Not old data. Not last year. Not speculation. This is today's real, active market value, growing, accelerating, and rising every single day. And let me tell you why collectors chase this coin with unmatched intensity. Because every detail matters. Because a fine condition example is a needle in a mountain. Because the survival rate is beyond small. And because the historical energy of this coin is so powerful that collectors feel the story the moment they hold it. Think about it. This coin survived the 1930s, the war years, the economic roller coasters, the metal recycling pushes, the shifts in currency systems, and the rise of new generations. Yet here it stands strong, proud, clear, and valuable beyond imagination. This is more than a penny. This is a historical pulse, a rare artifact, a treasure that carries the weight of time on its surface. And let me tell you, when a collector finds a 1935 penny in fine condition, they don't just see bronze. They see legacy. They see rarity. They see an investment with unstoppable power. They see a coin that will rise in value year after year, because coins with this kind of historical soul are becoming harder and harder to find. As we conclude this chapter of your rare coin journey, remember this. The United Kingdom. One penny 1935 in fine condition is not just a collectible. It is a masterpiece forged by history, preserved by chance, and now valued by the world. A true lifetime treasure. And here at Big Bucks Coins, we bring you the freshest market updates, the newest rare finds, and the most explosive coin realities every single day. Keep watching, stay excited, and keep digging through your collections because your next six-figure treasure may already be in your hands.